I'm Marcos Nájera.
And I'm Michael Taylor Gray.
With NewsWrap, a summary of some of the news in or affecting LGBTQ communities around the world for the week ending April 30th, 2022. Calling it a significant milestone toward a more inclusive blood donation system, Health Canada has finally lifted its ban on blood donations by men who have sex with men. Canadian Blood Services asked the government last year to remove the antiquated restriction that was put in place at the height of the AIDS pandemic, long before screening processes made it possible to detect HIV-infected blood. As of September 30th, prospective donors will not be asked about their sexual orientation, but rather about whether they engage in what is deemed high-risk sexual behavior. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's Liberal Party promised to lift the ban during the 2015 federal election campaign, and his government has been taking heat for failing to deliver. Similar restrictions on blood donations have been lifted in at least 7 other countries. The bans continue in Australia, the UK, and the US, but in all 3, the required celibacy period for men who have sex with men has been reduced to 3 months.
A bill to ban conversion therapy in the Mexican state of Baja California has been vetoed by Governor Marina del Pilar Ávila Almeida. The measure included fines and prison sentences of up to 6 years for convicted practitioners. It passed in the state's Congress on April 21st by an overwhelming vote of 20-4. Activist Eduardo Arredondo said that Ávila had bowed to what he called the pressure that conservative groups put on her in an interview with the Los Angeles Blade. She's returning the bill to Congress for unspecified modifications. Critics charge that those modifications could allow the medically debunked and often harmful practice to legally continue. 7 other jurisdictions in Mexico have already banned conversion therapy, according to The Blade.
While Russia's independent press has become collateral damage in President Vladimir Putin's war on the people of Ukraine, his government has not forgotten to crack down on queer-affirming social media. The Magistrate Court of the Taganka District in Moscow has fined Facebook and Instagram owner Meta 4 million rubles for refusing to take down content propagating the LGBT plus community. That's about $53,000. Meta was branded an extremist organization by a Tverskaya court in Moscow in March. The Prosecutor General's office compared Meta to ISIS. TikTok lost a ruling for a similar offense this week, costing owner ByteDance 2 million rubles. That's about $27,000. Russia's powerful communications regulator has also asked courts to fine Google's YouTube for allowing gay propaganda. The so-called No Promo Homo law, pushed by Putin, was enacted in 2013. It prohibits disseminating propaganda of LGBT plus identities to minors. The European Court of Human Rights ruled in 2017 that the law is discriminatory and, overall, serves no legitimate public interest. However, Putin routinely thumbs his nose at rulings from that court.
The U.S. state of Tennessee is a trailblazer in persecuting transgender athletes. Republican Governor Bill Lee signed a bill this week to deprive public school districts of state funding if they allow trans student athletes to compete according to their authentic genders. The percentage of state funding to be withheld is not clear. Neither is whether the law applies equally to trans boys and trans girls. Like a number of other Republican-controlled state governments, a Tennessee law enacted last year requires trans athletes to compete in middle school and high school sports under the gender listed on their birth certificates. The ACLU's Tennessee affiliate has already filed suit against the law on behalf of a 14-year-old trans boy. That case is not scheduled to be heard until at least March of next year, and the new law to deprive funds is set to go into effect July 1st. Queer legal advocates are expected to ask for a temporary restraining order to prevent that. Another bill is expected to get approval from Tennessee's Republican-dominated government. It extends the trans athlete ban to female college sports. Yet another would protect public school teachers from being disciplined for refusing to use a trans student's preferred pronouns. That bill also protects school districts from being sued over the issue.
High school teachers in a Kansas City, Missouri area district can no longer display LGBTQ safe space stickers or any other confirmation of their queer ally status. A Green Valley School District spokesperson insisted that all students should feel safe, not just in classrooms where teachers choose to display a particular sign. Gay former student Travis Holt told the Kansas City Star, "I found comfort with some of the teachers there, and that's maybe not going to be the same for students going forward." Queer advocates cite evidence that having a safe space on campus helps curb suicide attempts by closeted young people. They're pressing the school district to reconsider its offensive refusal to prevent queer students from finding support on campus, support they unfortunately might not find at home.
Oklahoma is now the first in the U.S. to prohibit the use of non-binary gender markers on state birth certificates. Republican Governor Kevin Stitt signed the bill on April 26th, his latest contribution to his party's increasingly anti-transgender right-wing strategy. Governor Stitt's signature caps the backlash to a lawsuit against the State Department of Health last year. The settlement allowed trans people to change the gender marker on their birth certificates to non-binary. After transphobic conservatives howled, Stitt overruled the health department by executive order. A lawsuit to challenge the executive order is in federal court, but the state has yet to file an official response. Now, Oklahoma's legislature is backing the governor, and the male or female only gender marker requirement is carved in stone. It's the first time trans people have been attacked in this particular way in a U.S. state. Copycats are sure to follow. The National Center for Transgender Equality says that only 15 U.S. states and the District of Columbia allow gender markers other than male or female. Vermont will join those states on July 1st. The federal government began allowing an X-gender marker on U.S. passport applications in early April.
In the land down under, there will be no LGBTQ rainbows flying from West Wimmera Shire's government flagpoles for the International Day Against Homophobia, Biphobia, and Transphobia. Last week, the Council of the Western Victoria town rejected a proposal to observe IDAHOBIT on May 17th by a vote of 3-2. Shire Mayor Bruce Meyer claimed that it was a moral decision by the local government. His cause was not exactly helped by his defense of the council vote on ABC Radio.
Gay marriage has been legalised. You've got to equate this to, there are many people who want the Marriage Act changed so that 12-year-old girls can marry. There are a lot of people who don't want any age of consent, which would virtually legalise pedophilia.
Is it a moral judgment simply to show support to members of your community on one day of the year?
I don't see why any particular group should have to be singled out for special treatment.
Wimmera Pride Project spokesperson Patrick Quain found it just mind-boggling to hear in this day and age an elected leader like the mayor conflate LGBTQI plus inclusion with pedophilia, as he later told ABC Radio. In Quain's words, flying the flag is not a moral judgment. It's the bare minimum a council can do to allow their queer community to understand that they are welcome here. The Victorian Pride Lobby has called for the mayor's apology.
Finally, the Walt Disney Company has refused to cut 12 seconds from Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness for Saudi Arabian censors. It's a lesbian character's brief reference to her two moms. Same-gender love, cross-dressing, and being transgender are crimes in the Middle Eastern Islamic nation, punishable by public whippings and steep fines. So the Marvel film has been banned from the country's movie theaters. The sheikdom of murderous Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman banned Disney's Eternals in November over the passionate on-screen kiss of a married gay male couple. It also banned the recent celebrated remake of the iconic movie musical West Side Story because it has a trans character. Disney refused to censor those movies too. By contrast, Warner Brothers recently bowed to Chinese censors and cut a few seconds from the latest Fantastic Beasts movie, confirming hero Albus Dumbledore's gayness.
That's NewsWrap, global queer news with attitude, for the week ending April 30th, 2022. Follow the news in your area and around the world. An informed community is a strong community.
NewsWrap is written by Greg Gordon, edited by Lucia Chappelle, produced by Brian DeShazer, and brought to you by you.
Thank you. Help keep us in ears around the world at thiswayout.org, where you can also read the text of this newscast and much more.
And you can read the transcript and listen to NewsWrap each week by subscribing to our This Way Out radio channel on YouTube. For This Way Out, I'm Michael Taylor Gray. Stay healthy.
And I'm Marcos Nájera. Stay safe. This Way Out delivers LGBTQ news and culture to more than 150 local communities on radio stations around the world, and we are also a free online news service. You can choose your favorite way to listen, online or on the air, at thiswayout.org. Please sign up for our free e-newsletter, Inside This Way Out. We will respect your trust in us and make sure your personal information is never shared with others.
Just send us an email at info@thiswayout.org to receive the informative and unique addition to the show. You'll be invited to join us for a more in-depth look into our stories and be encouraged to learn more about This Way Out's 3 decades of broadcast activism.
We hope you choose to join us in celebration of LGBTQ history and culture. Email us at info@thiswayout.org to join the movement.
We'll make sure you always know what's going on inside This Way Out.